live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Hey, hey, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, 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 we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line. Hey.
We are, look, we really apologize. We try really hard not to talk about the Patriots.
But there's so much to talk about. Sorry.
It is, especially with the whole, Tom Brady leaving and going. Like, they just have, it's really been, and not just Tom Brady leaving and going to Tampa Bay, but also the fact that they didn't draft a quarterback. They didn't sign a quarterback in free agency. Don't even know if they picked up an undrafted free agent at quarterback. They are just resigned to stick with Jarrett Stidham. And while we share the same first name, and I appreciate it, I don't know how great of a quarterback he's going to be.
Isn't this the person that his coach from college came out and said he was ready for this?
I want to say it was Gus Malzahn, because he was a quarterback.
Yes, that's who said yes. Yeah, Gus, that's who it was. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, okay.
Your college coach is supposed to say that. I
was about to say he was doing his job, but yeah, I don't know. We go, this is a great segue though into this whole who's really right, because essentially we're talking about Bill Belichick, the mad scientist, having such an ego.
Yeah.
That you believe that your way, your system will work no matter who the quarterback is.
Right.
Or any player on your team, essentially.
Right.
It is just a system that you just plug people in, basically.
Yeah.
And it just keep working. So, yeah. So go on and tell them what's the who's really.
So the who's really right for this week is, will Bill Belichick's Patriot Way be the undoing of the Patriots?
Yeah.
I was about to say, and as always, Stephanie, you can go first, but there's been a few times where you just say, no, you going first.
No, you go first. Yep. This is one of those times. Go ahead. You
Really?
Really?
You gonna throw me out there like that?
I'm gonna go ahead.
All right. So I do not believe that the Patriot Way will be the undoing of the team. And I really think that behind, we call Bill Belichick the mad scientist, but behind Bill Belichick, there is a true mad scientist who is like, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he is like a whiz with statistics. And they have had him in the fold for, I believe, every Super Bowl. And they, I believe, look at the probability of everything. And one of the things that struck me as odd was that they took a Division II safety in the second round of the draft, because they traded out of the first round to go back to the second round. And I'm thinking to myself, what made them trade out of the first round, and then with the pick in the second round, they get a D2 safety when there were other safeties who were thought of to be better on the board.
Right.
And while it is ego, he's just a really good evaluator of talent.
Clearly, he picked Tom Brady.
Right. And in the sixth round, no less. And so...
Well, he cheap, too. Let's be clear.
Oh, yeah. He don't want to spend a lot of money on his players.
He don't spend no money now.
Yeah. And it makes sense, because you see a lot of these teams, they pay all these players a lot of money, like the Rams paying Todd Gurley all that money, and then a couple of years into the deal, they let him go. And I'm not saying that you know how I feel about Todd Gurley. I love Todd Gurley. I'm a Todd Gurley fan. But you see teams like that, and he was just the first person that popped into mind when you give a player all of this money, and then you let him go, and you have to eat
that.
You have to eat like a piece of whatever the cap penalty is for that year.
Right.
So I feel like Bill Belichick does a good job of managing the cap. But he also has a great system in place, which is, everybody refers to as the Patriot Way. And I just don't think that the Patriot Way was all Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? And
the Patriot Way has nothing to do with Tom Brady.
Right. Well, you know, you got people, you know, talking about it and saying that Bill Belichick probably won't be successful after Tom Brady leaves, especially with what he has left.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for me to believe that. I believe with the way that Tom Brady played last year and the numbers that he put up, I believe that he believes, Bill Belichick, that he could have his defense playing the same way, which was the anchor of that team, and he can put a middle of the road quarterback in that position and still win games with relying on a running game and a good defense.
Okay.
And so I don't think it will undo the team. I do feel like at some point he'll probably have to alter the Patriot Way because we have a new type of athlete coming in. But
don't be getting into my argument.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. All right. But that was it. Like, I don't feel like the Patriot Way or Belichick's Patriot Way would be the undoing of the team.
Okay.
And clearly you think so.
Oh, I do. I do.
Let me hear it.
Because I think it's important to define what the Patriot Way is.
Right.
It is a no-nonsense, team first, win at all cost type of mentality that he enforces.
I like how you say that, win at all costs.
Win at all costs.
Deflate some football.
Listen, at all costs. Just saying.
Spy on some teams.
Hey, spy. That's right. Like, at all costs. Like, that is truly, that's why he's the mad scientist to me. Because it's that, you know, like, I'm going to do, and you're going to have to fall in line with how I do this, or, you know, you're going to be gone, basically. And I feel like you said it, these new style pro athletes are coming into the league, or they've been in the league for a while. Their personalities are what sell them.
Yeah.
And if you stifle me from being able to be myself, be my personality, which sells me, then you're cutting into my money. And let's just be clear. You know, just like I know, that these athletes make way more money off of endorsements than they probably do in their contracts. So basically, what you're telling an athlete is, if I come to the Patriots, I'm cutting my money. And I say, because of that, that's why your team no longer has some premier players like Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski. And just to be able to have fun.
Right.
Just to be able to have fun. Like, I know that's your profession. I know it's your job and you should be professional, but you work a job that should be fun. And when it's not fun, I think that's why Gronk was like, you know, I'm good. When he retired. Like, I'm good. He's a fun-loving guy. You have stifled me for 8 years. I'm good. So to my point, Tom Brady is very methodical as a thinker and as a football player. He was methodical in choosing where he would go to play and whom he would go to play for.
Right.
And he determined that Bruce Arians, who is unequivocally, and he don't mind telling you, is a player's coach. he is also a proponent of them being very free to be themselves.
Right.
So, again, no coincidence that a quarterback who is arguably considered to be by some the GOAT and one of the best tight ends in this particular era of football, both left your team. Winning don't matter.
Right.
Y'all won Super Bowl, that don't matter. At some point, that just isn't enough anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like this is the beginning of the end. Because you will not make any adjustments or be flexible in any way. It's your way or the highway. And so you're going to end up getting people who just are not on the level that you would want in order to continue to do what you ultimately wanted, which is to win.
Well, so what do you say to the I guess the idea that he's always done it with his guys, right? Like, and me talking about the safety that he got out of Lenore Ryan, D2 school, there may have been some other players who were equally or better talented than he is. But because he's probably in that mode of the guys that he would bring into the Patriot Way, he brought him in as opposed to getting someone in free agency or drafting someone who was perceived to be more talented. But we've seen over the years that Belichick makes those guys into superstars.
Oh, I totally, and that's the reason why you go out and you outside of the money thing, mm-hmm. I think that you draft the way that you do because you don't want those guys who already have such big presence.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get the most out of them when in your particular Patriot way when they're not.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Like, you get to kind of, you hope that you can mold them to just be good. I hate to put it that way, but to be good little soldiers.
Right.
In your army.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't pick the obvious best players, the superstars, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because those are the kids, those are the guys coming in that's like, no, I'm gonna be flashy, I'm gonna be and you can't do that there.
Right.
You just can't. And so I think it's a purposeful thing on his part. It doesn't not, and to your point, he absolutely is amazing at developing those people, those players that he does pick. He's amazing at developing their talent and their skills. But eventually, they're going to leave you.
Yeah.
Because once you get them to where they are superstar status, then they figure it out, right? And they're like, oh, wait. No, bro, like I can't be myself. You made me into this butterfly, but you want to keep me in the jar? No.
but he does a great job of replenishing, like,
and that's fine if that's what he wants. But I'm telling you, the question is what is the who's really right?
Will the Patriot Way be the undoing of the team?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So undoing in that you might be in some rebuilding stages.
Okay. So I think I think when I think of undoing, I think of like this thing falling off the cliff. Because after a 20-year run of 17 divisional championships and 6 Super Bowls, 9 appearances in the Super Bowl, at some point, especially with their cap situation being what it is, at some point you'll have to rebuild.
Yeah.
And
which
maybe
means you won't be those things. You won't be the division champs. You won't be the Super Bowl champ. So
right. But what I'm thinking, unless Bill Belichick decides to retire after this year, or you know what I'm saying, the next, do we see them coming back on top? Because when I think of undoing, I'm thinking of this thing is growing off a cliff and it's totally over for it. After.
Well, you know why it's going how it's going to be off the cliff eventually. Now that we're in these talks and discussions, at least through the NCAA, to give these players the ability to make money off of their image. So you're going to have more divas and superstars coming into the league. It's going to be hard to find those dudes that you can bring in to the Patriot Way. It's going to be harder and harder because the more of them that they get to, the more they get the taste of that before they get to the league, the less of them are going to be, they're not going to be hearing that.
Right.
Yeah. So, you're going to fall off the cliff eventually. Yeah.
Okay. I still disagree. I think that he's going to always find those players who aren't highly touted but are talented enough to get into his system and buy in. And I think that he has that cachet and he's earned it, with the amount of success that he's had over the years. And even if you want to attribute it to Tom Brady, we still look at the fact that Tom Brady didn't play that great last year, and they were still able to go to the first round of the playoffs.
Right.
So, you guys let us know. Do you think that the Patriot Way or Bill Belichick's Patriot Way will be the undoing of the team? Stephanie says yes. Jarrett says no. If you look up right now, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see the icon where you can click on and vote to say who's really right. It's me.
Put the cameras on me, 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 put the cameras on me.